This video focuses on the sixth task of populating a unit page. It relates to the course builder, and we need to add one formal assessment task for term 1 with a rubric. We're going to go through the steps to start with. There are three options when you want to create a new piece of work or a new item in the course builder. I'm going to jump back over to Schoolbox, and we're in the course list. I'm going to search for 7 Science. Click on the course, and we're going to go to the unit Separating Mixtures view homepage. Now, I haven't done any work on this page yet, but we're going to start with the course builder. You can click New Task for something that doesn't have a due date, but students can self-assess and tick off when they've completed that task. New Quiz is a quiz that you would build on Schoolbox, similar to how you might build a quiz on Style if you've done that in the past. But we're going to focus on Due Work, which is for items that have a due date, such as homework or assessment tasks. Click on New Due Work, and here we've got the type to choose from to begin with. As we're focusing on an assessment task for now, we're going to click Assessment Task, leave that as is, give it the assessment task a title. The title of this task is Mystery Mixtures Assessment. We can put a description in, but that's probably going beyond my level of knowledge at this point, so we'll leave that. And we can attach a file if we need to. We can choose whether we accept online submissions. I'm going to tick that for now. And you can also tick to accept multiple submissions. And this can be useful if students might be submitting more than one file to you, or if for some reason they have difficulties, or they say they stuff up the first submission and they want to submit it again. It can be a good insurance policy if you allow multiple submissions. You'll be able to track when the multiple submissions occur, and you can still ensure that students don't submit after a certain date, so that you know that it's overdue. With the grading, the mark weight is really important. Everyone needs to leave this mark weight as 0, whether it's a year 7 to 10 subject or a year 11 and 12 subject. Every assessment needs to have a mark weight of 0, and that needs to be consistent across the board. The mark visibility is set for staff, students and their parents. You can change this. The only reason you might change this is if you're marking assessment task for each individual student through the class, and you want to say, I'm going to keep the mark visible to staff only until I've marked everyone's work, and then I'll change it to staff, students and their parents once everyone's mark has been uploaded to Schoolbox, and then they can all go out at the same time. In terms of the type of mark, that should be either a percentage or none. The types where it might be none are if you set a homework task and you're not really scoring it, but it's more of a S or N, or did they complete it or not, and you're going to take a record of that. If it's an assessment task, we want the type to be a percentage at all times. Please don't use letter grade or total mark. For consistency, we need that to be percentage. As this is an assessment task and we need one per term to be marked against a rubric, we're going to click yes and go through that now. We don't need to have mark per capability on. This is where we can start to build our rubric. I'm going to go through a little bit of this now, but we might have another guide become available very soon, so this video might become outdated. If it does, please refer to the other guide, but for now I'm going to show you how to copy and paste from a science rubric for Year 7. So I'm going to copy over Science Inquiry Skills and add that as a new capability. I'm just copying and pasting from this Word document, click away, and it creates Science Inquiry Skills. We can add another capability, Science Understanding, copy and paste underneath, click away, and it adds that in as well. We can add a new indicator to Science Inquiry Skills. So up next to Science Inquiry Skills, we've got Scientific Language, copy and paste that in. Science Equipment, copy and paste that in as well. Safety, predicting. So these 4 all belong to Science Inquiry Skills. Next to Science Understanding, I've got an indicator of Chemical Science, and I can paste that in there. Now I've got the descriptors which we can put in. So insufficient evidence is the lowest. So here's a descriptor. And I'm not putting in points in this example here, so we might come up with another guide very soon where we do the points in it as well, but at this stage that's still to be confirmed as to what the points will be. So I've got insufficient evidence, then I can list key specific terms is the next one across. I can define key scientific terms, I should have said scientific. So add level if I need another one across. I can paraphrase definitions of key scientific terms, add another level, put that in, keep going, add another level, put that in, and the highest one. So I've done the whole row for scientific language, and then I can follow the same steps for science equipment, same steps for safety, same steps for predicting, and the same steps for chemical science. Once I've done, I can post it, and this whole rubric will be done, and that will live in Schoolbox, and then you can mark students' work on this rubric in Schoolbox, which is really easy to do. The other thing that we haven't done today is given these levels a name, as well as the points that are associated with each. The level names are still to be determined as well, but these are likely to be things like 7, 7+, 8, 8+, and so forth, but that will be confirmed in the coming weeks. Click post once you're done, and this new task is now listed in the course builder. When you import the course to a class page, that's when you can set your due dates for your specific class, and part of that process is importing the course to your specific class, and other teachers will do the same thing with their class, so you might find that each teacher has a slightly different date according to when their lesson falls and when they're going to make their work due. Please keep in mind that if your work is due for online submission, it shouldn't necessarily be restricted or tied down to when you have that class for a lesson. The online submission date could be any time.